Yo, shout out to Kanjo, Taz. Is that how that goes? You can let me know if there's something else I should shout out. I'm excited. That's not what this video is going to be about, but I'm excited that I'm about a third of the way through. It's long. It's like almost 4 hours long. It's that's the guy from the Game Changers film, the film about eating plant based, and there's a debate with Chris Kresser, and them two going back and forth about the facts. So I'm kind of watching it, taking notes, and I'll say something about that later. But today, I wasn't gonna make a video about this. I was gonna make a video about that. I have a video in my mind about God slash gods. But I thought I'd make this video since Kanjo was like, where's the videos? And what this video is I've been journaling daily. I missed a day. So all my 108 things I just kind of threw out since I have so much going on. Oh, I got oral surgery done. I'm getting 2 implants. So I'm not running. I don't feel like running. I haven't been meditating. I guess I'm still reading about Zen things, but regardless, what do I want to say here? This is what I'll say. Like I was just gonna share the journaling that happened since I made that last video, and what it basically is. And I think I can't remember what was in that video. I know it was about keeping it real. But what it basically is me thinking about what I want to do content production wise, like when I'm making these videos, when I'm writing, what I'll do on my blog, where, when I was in Milltown mode, we'll call it Milltown mode, everything was like an experiment. I was just doing stuff to do it. Not only was I experimenting in terms of the video that was being produced, whether it was funny videos, rambly videos, like basically everything, even everything last year, Milltown Kid mode. A lot of the things this year too, still Milltown mode in its own way. But the process of starting to actually work on the book that I have had in mind for a long time. And the book is basically an extension of what I had in mind with the owning life stuff, right? Kind of a philosophy and system, so to speak. And again, now I call it flow to your dream. I don't know why I put that in quotes. Flow to your dream. And it really boils down to, if I look at what I wrote, what I journaled today, what it really boils down to for me is again, I've just been, I don't know if addicted is the right word, but anything surrounding kind of enlightenment has been just the top of what's been interesting to me. And I don't think I've shared it that often online, here and there, but and if I roll it back, I feel like I might have mentioned this, but if I roll it back in time, it's like, when I was in high school or whatever, the world just didn't make a whole lot of sense. The way it was presented to me by teachers, by adults, the direction they gave me, what I should do, what I shouldn't do. It didn't make a lot of sense. I think back then I had it just it was just a lot simpler with man, that dog's loud. Can you guys hear that? It was a lot simpler back in the day where I was like, shouldn't you just be happy? What else is there? And I remember really clearly an adult, a friend of my mom, being like, that's silly. You should do. And I'm like, what else would you do? Now, don't get me wrong, happy as a high schooler or a young adult or whatever, maybe it's wrapped up in partying or drinking or whatever. And that's, an you're just experimenting with life and what's fun or whatever. But I mean, outside of happy and partying or whatever, what didn't add up to me, like there's nothing I like more than my free time. And you talk to people, I think that's what people also want or like is their free time. And man, I'm way off script from this stuff, but you know, people want free time, but then how they approached it just logically and mathematically did not make a lot of sense to me. It's like you want free time, and when you're in your 20s or something, or even high school, people talk about this. I mean, it's mythological, man. It's like Bigfoot almost. This idea of retirement and saving for retirement. Speaking of boomers, this isn't an okay boomer mode, but like the world was kind of very, well, I mean, it was very different, going, not back a long time ago, 50, 60 years or something. One, if you're white, is very different. But let's say you're, even if you were black, there's a period of time, but there was a mode where you could get a job at one place and work that job, and I believe these places sometimes gave you retirement money, and you could save money and whatever, and you would retire and you'd have money, and that worked for a large percentage of the population. And then I bring up white just because don't get me wrong, like a lot of white people are also broke, but if you were white, there was a much higher chance that your family had some kind of wealth that they could either pass on to you or use to help you move forward. Like even in my mom's case, I know that my grandma was able to help her with a down payment for loan for our first house, right? Like that's a big that's a big deal. Not that it was a ton of millionaire money, but like a chunk of money to get started. Anyhow, got a little off topic, but the way, now that advice that older people were giving me at that time in high school, maybe about working and retirement at some point, kind of made sense from the world they were coming from, but the world that I was in, it didn't. I don't know if I was in high school as a boomer, maybe it would have like, so I'm in high school when, I don't know, the 70s or something. I don't know. Like maybe, I don't know, man, they were hippies and stuff too. Maybe I'd had a different view, but it just didn't make mathematical sense to work work hard so you can enjoy your free time when you were in your 50s or 60s. Like that didn't make sense. What made sense is enjoying your free time like now. and like the focus is on the free time now. Like, yeah, you got to make some money, but I'd rather have my free time now, like right now, like back then, now, and right now, versus waiting until like working 40 hours a week every week. And like a 40-hour work week takes away more than the 40 hours, right? You have transportation, you're tired, you have, like depending on your job might follow you home. It's a very detailed. Actually, I don't know. I haven't worked 40 hours a week, kind of ever. I have here and there in different ways, but regardless, the math didn't make sense to me. So, I mean, then, like, I'm talking about mathematical money, dollars and cents, because it's like you do all this to work, and then you're spending a lot of money. A lot of people don't seem like they're saving that much money anyway, and a lot of people, even worse than not saving, they're going in debt, and you're working, and you don't have free time, and you're just kind of like in this machine. So, if I bring all that back to enlightenment stuff, even without enlightenment, doesn't make a lot of sense. But then you throw enlightenment science, let's call it theories, from many different, there's different systems, schools of thought on it. But like one of the core elements is this thing about desire, and desires really impact your life and how you approach work and life and everything. And these, I think now I'm actually going to come back here, but these desires kind of like jack you up. They not only do they mess up your happiness, they also they eat up your free time because a lot of times you're applying your time to earn money, to use the money on these desires, which like it creates this system of like unhappiness, basically. Where now, when I first got into reading about enlightenment, different stuff, Tao Te Ching, whatever, I made an attempt to throw out all desires, but then there's two sides of a coin. There's desires and then aversion, right? So if you start throwing out desires, then you start having aversion to things, which also isn't good. And if I give you a more, maybe my now more balanced view on desires, it's basically being skillful with your having skillful desires versus desires that end up eating up your free time, eating up your money, and don't produce any sort of contentment or happiness. So I went way off script, which is probably par for the course with me. But bringing it all back to what I was journaling over the last few days after making that long video, is I basically want to consolidate all of the principles, all of the principles and kind of systems and whatever, to create a very happy and content experience for anyone right now in the present, right? Like, and a big part of that, a big part of my system / philosophy or whatever is, just if you can tweak, even if you maintain unskillful desires, I can't tell anybody what a skillful and not skillful desire is. Like, I wouldn't say, you shouldn't want a big house, or you should, that's up to each person. Has to figure that out on their own. So I would never be in the business. I used to be in the business of being like, you shouldn't, not anymore. I'm not in that business. But whether you have skillful or unskillful desires, just changing your mode of thought, where you're not so focused on the thing you desire, like the goal, and just switching it where you're more focused on the process of getting there. And if you can make the process of getting to that goal enjoyable, that is actually the higher goal. So as opposed to these goals you might have, whether it's subscribers on YouTube, a new car, being able to do a backflip, let's say a PlayStation 5 when it comes out, a Switch. Man, I want a Switch, man. I'm gonna have a Switch soon. I gotta play Mario Maker. And Mario Maker 2 just had an update. Shit looks fun, man. I just watch people play Mario Maker 2 all the time. Looks so fun. But regardless, whatever it is, not getting caught up in the, winning a championship, getting an Olympic gold, whatever. Enjoying the process to getting there. That's it. Like, even if, let's say you're like me, man, struggling with bipolar, or you have depression, or you're overweight, or you don't have a girlfriend, or I'm trying to think of things that, relationship issues, or you have a wife and she's horrible, or you have a husband and he beats you, just bad situations too. The idea isn't to enjoy those situations, but your situation is the reality. That's just what it is. and making the art of changing your reality, the art, that process of changing your reality, the what you enjoy doing. Now, so if you're getting beat, like, you don't want to enjoy getting beat, but like, that's a situation you want to get out of. And then just every day, the little things, the little adjustments you make, either psychologically or to your environment, that's what moves you forward. So just like getting rid of the goal being the progress, the process is the goal. So now, with all that out of the way, if I flip through my little things here, this is my little updates to myself. I mean, basically, I want to now. When it comes to books, like, dude, there's lots of books here. This is I think his name's Ryan Holiday. Yeah, he's a buddy of Tim Ferriss. My friend gave me this. Like, the reason I'm holding up this book is, like, there's, like, I'm gonna write a book. There's this book. Buddha has said things. There's the Tao Te Ching. Dude, the science of enlightenment and transcend, changing your. Dude, it's in books all over the place. And my like, what I want to do is less write a book about it, which I do want to do. My focus is more building the systems to apply the stuff in the book. That's my whole thing with the 108 thing, regular resets, reflection. Like, that's, the knowledge is out there. You can find other YouTube videos or channels or podcasts or whatever. But what doesn't seem to be out there as much are systems for incrementally applying what you might pull from these different texts or people or whatever. So that's what I ultimately want to create and share. And, what I wrote today was basically, why do I want to create and share this stuff? And it's because of someone else's work of attempting to create and share is why I've, why it's come to me. And this is really a topic for a different video, but there's something, I'll say I don't believe in free will, but I would rather put it as a statement that, like, just free will is not real. And with that understanding, when you see people suffering, whatever they're going through, people who do believe in free will, they'll put it on that individual, like, oh, you need to this, you need to that, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, whatever. When you transcend all that and you see that it's not on the individual, it gives you, like, compassion for anybody's situation, whether they are being abused, going back to that, whether they are being abused or they are the abuser. It's outside of their control, which sounds strange, which is why it requires a separate video. But the point being is that inside of the framework of, like, while I say free will doesn't exist, I think people should operate as if it does, for sure. Like, we are complex, systems, and knowing that another complex system has not yet been exposed to the right information to snap them out of their situation, right? Abuser, abusee, overweight, unhealthy, depression, whatever. It's basically they haven't been exposed to the right information at the right time or the right system at the right time. And I was lucky that, for whatever reason, shout out to Mom. She, and again, that's my point. Like, I didn't do this. Shout out to Mom. Shout out to Dad for, raising me in a way that, made me open, inquisitive, able to see from a lot of different angles, right? Like I want to say try it, but obviously you can't. But being raised in the most segregated city in the U.S., the worst city for Black people, as a mixed race person, with family in Iowa, so I go see farms. It gives you, changes your like you see the world different, right? Like I was never able to just slide into like, hey, I'm Black, or just slide into, yo, I'm white. So that had its own, so what I am and who I am is not a result of me, although now it feels like it is. So to wrap it up, in summary for this long rambling thing, and getting back to this, like I basically want to craft a book that's tight and concise about different spiritual whatever disciplines, philosophies, or whatever, lightly based on my personal life, but I don't want my personal life to be overbearing on the book. I want it to be, and then I want the book to kind of be the jump-starting connection to the community and system. And what I've been talking to myself about all this is something I didn't want to do, and this is, I think, something I struggled with the whole Milltown Kid thing. Clearly, I don't even care about time anymore. Like anyway, something I struggled with the whole Milltown Kid thing is I did not want, I don't want, here, even the Flow to Your Dream thing. I believe I'm capable of writing something, making the videos, putting together the ads and everything to market and promote the thing, and calling the people and getting it edited and and doing, believe I'm capable of doing that and turning that into a business. I understand the whole influencer thing. It's much easier to do than when I was doing it, but there's I don't want, I want to do something else and talk about this something else then talk about Flow to Your Dream from the doing something else that's more real, let's say, right? Like Milltown Kid obviously is real, people do it, but it's not real in that, everybody, you should make a YouTube channel and generate ads and sell things. That's not, and even the thing I'm going to do isn't something that everybody can do, but it's closer to something. So the thing I want to do currently, that is outside of, I got my Tai Chi thing too, but in my mind now, I'm just gonna, that's later, man, maybe even 50, 60, I'll do it casually. But what I want to do is this, I'm going to focus on this bipolar thing. I like that as I have a friend who can help me, he has it set up here where you can print shirts, package, send them out. All I got to do is drive traffic. And I'm thinking I'm going to build a website, a bipolar themed website. So and I'll probably share what I have going on with that here and kind of make that my thing, and then keep trying and failing with that until I get some success using the principles of Flow to Your Dream while I'm working on this separate thing, versus using the principles of Flow to Your Dream to build up and sell Flow to Your Dream. I don't like that. I didn't like that with Owning Life. I didn't like that with Milltown Kid. Yeah, I didn't like that. I like just making videos, whatever. But I didn't like, that's just me, man. I didn't like the idea of making money that way. That might have been some mental block back in the day, but I don't think so. I think there were things that weren't in line with some deeper principles that I hadn't fully explored yet, because I just got caught in that whirlwind. So, yeah, that's it. There you go. Video. There's the video. Next video, maybe it'll be about game changers. Maybe it'll be something else. I'm journaling on the regular. All I want to do is eliminate suffering to the best of my ability, since that was someone else, what they wanted to do, and then I came across their doings, and I'd like to do something to help people come across whatever it is they need to skillfully craft desires so that every day feels like a good day. That's the goal, man. Every day feels like a good day. That's all anybody wants. Like, what they want from their wants is for every day to feel like a good day. That's it. All right, I'm going to end it there. Yeah, I'll see you later. Again, I mean, thanks for leaving a comment saying you want another video. Anybody at any time, if you leave a comment, want a video or want me to ramble about something, feel free. Feel free. Alrighty, guys. Peace.